Hi everyone, how have you all been? Great to see you again as always. Oh, give me a second. I need to mute this right here. And I just need to get the chat ready on my phone as well so I can keep an eye on all of this. Here we go. Right there. Yep, right here. Okay, how's everyone been? Let's see. Big Bash. Great to see you, Big Bash. Classic Brickman, Fireboy, Cosmic Studios, Selena, Jess, Saeed, King of the Monsters 2021. Yeah, buddy, I can't wait for tonight either. I hope you enjoy the video. And can't wait for Tuesday. What's happening on Tuesday? Hey Eric, have you seen Transformers 1 yet? I saw it on Friday. It's now my favorite movie of the year. Ooh, that's actually impressive. I haven't seen it yet, but I will see it at some point. And when I do, I'll make sure to keep you guys in the know as well. Oh, Tuesday is American Election Day. Oh, right. Oh, wow. Kumal Nanjani has donated to me $2.30. How did I go from an oh wow to a oh god so quickly? I swear this only happened at one live stream. I don't know why some of you have already still kept it going. I mean, I just started the stream as well. Alright, let me just quickly write that down as I usually do. So that's a $2.30 donation from Kumal Nanjani. And he says, Hey Eric, what can I do to improve my acting? Stop trying to be funny. That literally is it. Big Bash goes, amazing start. The Time Shadow goes, oh yay. JWK is like, who? Fireboy's like, damn, Eric. Yeah, I know. Let me see if I can find out who did this. James Dean says, Eric, who you voting for? I'm in the UK. We don't vote for American politics here, so yeah, I don't have to with that one. But if you want to know if I did vote in the US, live in the US, and I wouldn't vote for either of them. Let's see, who did... Aha! No. What am I talking about? I can't find out through this. Khan, everything's going great. How's things going with you? Big Bash goes, amazing start. No, I can't find out who that is. Hey Eric, I know you don't watch Agatha all along, but I heard some people say it's a pretty good show. I've heard some people saying some stuff about that as well. I've heard people saying at the very end, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's worth sitting through all that stuff that Marvel does. They have the same problems from what I've heard of this show. So Agatha is not something I really want to go and see, really. I'm glad you enjoyed it, though. But yeah, it's just not for me. And seems, from what I've heard, it seems to have many of the shortcomings and the same mistakes of these MCU shows. Alright, let me quickly let you know that the tip goal for Coraline is still on, so if anyone wants me to review this coming up, then you can go ahead and do so. Big Bash says, I like your shirt. Oh, thanks, buddy. There's another one is Fireboy who goes, nice t-shirt. Yeah, this was actually a part of some merch, basically, when a company came to me and says that, well, thinking of doing merch, would you like to, participate with it? And I was like, on a basic level, I guess I could. We could put my logo on the shirt. I just don't know how many of you guys would be into that kind of thing. Would you be into that kind of thing? I've not pursued it. So, they sent me samples out, but I never took it further. But hey, if there's enough demand, then sure, I'll start getting into merch if people want. Let's see. Elite has done a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, buddy. 2 super chats right at the beginning of the stream. I appreciate that, guys. Elite says, hi Eric, it was me who did that donation. Oh really? Oh, okay. I never would have guessed that. Hang on, when you donated, it was a super chat the first time, wasn't it? Let's see. Yeah, it was a super chat. Because a lot of people were doing that with, it was Streamlabs last time. It kept popping up on the screen saying that these actors and people how are donating to me, like Robert Downey Jr. and stuff. It would pop up on the screen. Big Bash says, hopefully Sarah shows up. Yeah, it's great when all of you guys can show up onto these streams. Cosmic Studio says, next Saturday is going to be peak. Arcane 2, Season 2 act finally... Season 2 finally drops. I'm beyond excited. I can't contain myself. Oh, finally. That's taken them years. It feels like a whole other lifetime that first season came out. So cool if they're bringing that out. I'll definitely watch that as well. Yeah. I've also got myself an OLED monitor coming through. I'll be seeing if I like it. And if I do, I'll keep it. If not, I'll send it back. But it'll be cool to watch this stuff on a not a projector, on a OLED monitor. Although I do have a projector, which is where I saw Arcane Season 1. I might want to see Arcane Season 2 through a projector as well, so we'll see what I do. JWK says, I watched Agatha all along. It was boring and not fun at all. Yeah, there's fluctuating opinions, but yeah, a lot of people are not watching it. It fell out of the Nielsen ratings, so, you know, it means that less people are watching it. So I'm just waiting for more of you to come in. Once we do, we can get into the actual stories. But I'll just say it again for those that don't know. With the Coraline review, if you want this review to happen, we got to reach that goal, and all you got to do is donate through Streamlabs in order to make that happen. So yeah, that's basically all you got to do in order to get that. If you want to get that review from me in the next few days. Final Wars comes as 20 AM British time. Yes, King of the Monster, or at least after this stream. I've got it all set up. All I got to do is click publish. So I've got the description written. I've got everything done. So as soon as the stream is over, we'll have that video you commissioned, King of the Monsters 2021. It will be up as soon as I end this stream. I'll give it a few minutes, then I'll hit publish. Oh, hi Sarah. Great to see you jump in. I actually thought you weren't going to be on this stream. Oh, look at that. Khan is like, Sarah has returned. Jess is like, Sarah, my girl, it's great to see you. Time Shot is like, Sarah, I was just asking about you. Everyone's giving a nice greeting to Sarah. Oh, look at that, Sarah. You're always missed and loved on these streams. King of the Monsters 2021 says, will it mention how I commissioned it? Not wanting it, just asking. Well, I'm not going to tell you. All I'll say is that the video was already complete. I completed it yesterday with a bit of time to spare, so I added a couple of extra little touches in there. So I'm not going to tell you. All I'll say is the video is complete. I'm not touching it no more in terms of the edit. You'll see if it's got any of that or not. You're the first person to actually... You're the first person to actually give me like a commission that's come out, because it's a quick movie review, so I'll let you see how it will play out when you actually see the commission video. And look at that, we've got Liam Budai? I am so sorry if I say that wrong. I'll say Liam. We got Liam, who has donated £1.53 through Streamlabs. Thank you very much, buddy. And you can see that the Coraline jar or the progress bar has gone forward a little bit. So yeah, that's great. King of the Monsters, yes, I did use a little bit of one of the music you sent me at a point in the video. The others, I wasn't sure. They were remixes. I didn't know if they were really copyright free or not, so I didn't really go for those just out of being careful. But yeah. Let's see, so Liam has asked, have you seen the Daredevil Born Again footage? I have, and we'll talk about that when I talk about the Phase 5 MCU slate. So don't worry, we will be talking about that. And I don't know if you noticed this, Sarah, but before you came in, we had 2 super chats, and one happened to be from Kumal Nanjiani, believe it or not. People are still playing that game that you guys were all playing the other day. And then Elite came out and admitted it was him. So, yeah. Yeah, the funny thing is that when he did that donation, it did not pop up on screen because it wasn't through Streamlabs. He did it through a super chat, and it was just in the chat, so it didn't come on the screen. If it came on the screen, I think I really would have been, like, just thrown for a loop, seeing that name on my screen right here. Alright. Elite says, have you seen the entire video of the slate? Yes, I have. I wouldn't be making a video about it otherwise. But yeah, I have. There's a lot of clips in there of many things, so we will talk about that in a bit. I'm just waiting for more people to come into the stream, and then we can start talking about it. That's the first thing we're going to be talking about. Wait a minute, let me check. Yep, that will be the first thing we talk about. So yeah. Jess says, Eric, I couldn't sit through Joker 2 when it came to digital because after the first act, I turned the TV off and I was done with the film. Fair enough, yeah. Let's see. Trevor says, we'll go to see the re-release of Godzilla -1 on Tuesday, trying to avoid the polls. Alright. Oh, Sarah watched Wild Robot yesterday. I've still not seen it. I still have to see it. So, yeah. Let's see. Jess says, me neither, Sonic. I was worried that it was only me who was still playing the imposter game. Yeah, you guys are all... Oh, Cosmic Studios asked Sarah, did you cry? Did you cry, Sarah? Because the movie seems to be very emotional. Everyone says that, like it's really emotional. Jess says he saw it on digital and it was amazing. I still have to see it. Oh, Sarah's actually disappointed with the movie. Oh, I got a $2 super chat from MovieFan2002. Thank you very much, MovieFan. Let me give you a like on that. Give me a second. There you go. Let's see. When will the Joker versus video come out? My plan for the Joker versus video is for it to come out near the end of next week or this coming week. So I've already done the voiceover editing for it. I'm going to start editing, doing the voiceover for the conclusion tomorrow, then start editing in the footage and all the other edits I have to do. So that's my plan right there. Let's see. Ignore the clapping. I just had a little pest control problem, but it's all taken care of. Alright, so... Ooh, the Time Shadow has donated £1 through Streamlabs. Thank you very much, Time Shadow. That is... I really appreciate that. His question is, hey Eric, do you have any advice on how to avoid copyright claims? Because I recently made a reaction video of the Terrifier film, and I was forced to create a Patreon page just so I had somewhere to upload it, and I don't want these problems in the future. I'm sorry to say it, buddy, but you have to work through those problems. I used to always put in movie music in the background of whatever movie I was reviewing, but I can't do that now due to copyright claims. So I have to use cover themes and stuff like that. So, yeah, it really is a shame. You're just going to have to find a way to deal with it. I find that so long as your footage is only 10 seconds long maximum, that's safe. If you go beyond that, they can start saying, hey, you're using footage from our movie. Some studios will just claim you no matter what. Universal are the biggest pigs when it comes to that. And then also, yeah, you just have to be careful. That's why I've not done Let's Watch on, like these Let's Watch stuff on YouTube. That might change soon. That might give you a little tease there on what I've got planned coming up. But that's a whole new thing for me as well. So yeah, Patreon is a big reason why I do it. But at the same time, you don't want to upload the whole movie onto YouTube or onto Patreon because that's copyright then. That is copyright and that goes beyond what we do. So you got to make sure that you make the appropriate edits to avoid the copyright problem. So that's my tip to you, is you're just going to have to find a way to work around it and compromise, because there are many of my videos where I actually wanted to put more footage in, or I wanted to do certain choices, but then you get copyright claims, and you get copyright claims on the music, and then I have to cut music out and like re-edit other music into the bits that got copyrighted. It's just a whole process, and you got to find a way to like navigate it, but it is very tricky. Now, what did Sarah say about the Wild Robot? I didn't catch your opinions on it. I glanced it briefly, but then I was answering your questions. Oh, I can't see it, so that's a shame. I would have liked to know Sarah's opinions, but it's all right. I'll try to see if we can get to it later, or if you can ask it again or say it again at some point. Jess says, hear me out, Eric, you dim-witted prince. Margot Robbie is the real Harley Quinn, and she is the best, not the imposter from Joker 2. Margot Robbie had potential and showed a lot of people were interested, myself included, when she showed up in the first Suicide Squad movie. But after that, she's very one-note as Harley. I find her just to be incredibly one-note, and I don't feel sorry for her. That's a big thing. So, yeah. Okay, then. The G-Gamer says, who's a member, says, I saw your reaction to Nightmare Before Christmas. Glad you loved it. Kinda crazy to think Jack was kinda like the unintentional antagonist who meant well despite doing more harm than good on Christmas. Yeah, he kinda was, wasn't he? As they say, no villain thinks they are the villain, but Jack Skellington certainly thought that he was the hero in there. But it wasn't. None of it came from a mean-spirited place. What he was doing, so that was interesting. Oh, Supersonic, I'm glad you had a great birthday. Happy belated birthday. I'm sure I gave you a happy birthday on the day before as well. I think, or if that was someone else. I'm sure that was you. But correct me if I'm wrong. Elite says, I like your opinion on the movie news because most of the movie news videos I see feel fake. Oh, okay, that's good. I appreciate that, Elite. I'm glad that you like my opinions on those. Time Shadow goes, this Wednesday is Stranger Things Day. Potential update / trailer. Oh, will there be? Oh, interesting. Cool. All right, then. Let's see. Cosmic Studio, that's a very good question, but aside from personal people I know, I don't really think I do have people like that. Maybe certain influencers in terms of their work ethic on YouTube. I'm like, okay, I should try to be like on schedule like they are, but probably that's about it, I think. Sarah says, I'll re-say it. I had no emotional connection to the characters because they literally skip over the characters bonding and grow up, and they try to force in action, and what I wanted to see was skipped. Ah, interesting. Well, I'll watch the movie soon. Maybe we'll do another Let's Watch, and you can watch it with me if you want to. And then you can see if my opinions align with yours. Maybe you'll catch me crying, because I almost did with the Nightmare on Elm Street video, the Let's Watch video, Nightmare on Elm Street, because it was on the bit where Sally was singing. That's where it almost happened. It brought back nostalgic memories. It just sounded so familiar and nostalgic. Alright then, so with that said, let's move on to the first story. And remember, if you want to have a Coraline review next week, then all you gotta do is fill this bar with Streamlab, with donations through Streamlabs, and you can ask a question and help fill that bar. Alright, and as always, when I talk about these stories, I can't answer your questions, and I won't be able to really read your comments. I'll glance at them occasionally, but if you want to have any of your questions answered, then what you have to do is click on the Super Chats and donate through that to ask your question, or through Streamlabs. And that way, I'll be able to answer your question immediately. And if you do it through Streamlabs, it'll pop up on the screen, and I'll be able to answer your question through that. And yeah, that's the only way I'll answer your questions as I am going through these stories. So, with that said, let's talk about the Marvel Phase 5 or 2025 slate that we got coming up. Now, this was actually something that they very much snuck under there. And it was only a trailer that came out on Disney+. It wasn't a trailer that Marvel released for everyone to see. So this was like a low-key kind of advertising trailer for Disney+, than like a proper trailer that was meant for all of us. So yeah, this is basically... I'm going to show you the list of stuff they gave, and it's going to be in no particular order, because seriously, we don't care about when these release, we just care about which ones are we interested in. So, yeah, whoops-a-daisy, let's sort that out. There. So, this is basically everything that was announced in that trailer, all the new stuff. Now, you'll notice that I've separated a lot of this stuff right here, and that's because we've got stuff that was animated Marvel projects, and then we got live-action Marvel projects. Now, Ironheart, Wonder Man, and Daredevil Born Again. These are the big projects that are going to be live-action, and they're going to be TV shows on Disney+. And yeah, if you just... And then on the right-hand side, you can see that's all the Marvel animated stuff. And you can just immediately tell whether this is something that you're going to like or something you're not going to care about. In the case of Ironheart, who cares? I've said in my Black Panther 1 versus Black Panther 2 versus video, I said that I was not interested in this. And yeah... it's like Ironheart is just a forced character they wanted to set up in the MCU. And no one cares. Wonder Man, again, I do not care about Wonder Man. And if you watch the footage that he's in, it looks really silly. Daredevil Born Again is the one that I care about the most, but it's also the one that I'm the most fearful for. Because the others can suck and who cares, but Daredevil Born Again cannot suck. It better be amazing. But from what I hear, it's a part 1, and season 2 we're not going to get until the year after, maybe, or maybe the year after that. So yeah, let's hope they do a great job. I don't want them to start, Disney Plussing the Daredevil show. And then we got Marvel Zombies. And Marvel Zombies, I like the idea, but I think it would have been far more ballsy and balls to the wall if they just said, you know what we're going to do is we're going to do it in live action. That would be so much better, but they're not going to do it in live action. And as a matter of fact, I will show you though, the rumor has been that they're going to make the show rated R. And again, it's like, it's easy to make it rated R when it's animation. And what I saw was this right here. I'll show it to you. I found this image in the trailer that showed Marvel Zombies, a little footage of it. And you can see there was a bit of blood here, I think, if I remember. Like, they're stabbing a zombie in the eyes. And that looks like Yelena, that does, the female Black Widow. So that is cool in the sense that there is going to be some R-rated violence in there, some. But at the same time, it's like, come on, that's safe to do it in animation. You should do it in live action is what they should do. Then I'll give them props for that. Oh, by the way, we've also got a 79 pence donation from Isaac Newton V. Sure, Isaac Newton, but he donated 79 cents. Whoever that is, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Alright, so moving on. Yeah, so let's go through these. Ironheart, I don't care. Wonder Man, I don't care. Daredevil Born Again, of course I'm interested in that, but I'm, like I said, very afraid for it. And then we have Marvel Zombies. Cool idea. I'll give it a shot, but it's not coming out until the very end of the year next year, and it's going to be rated R, which is cool, but I seriously doubt they're going to do anything more beyond that. It's going to be a low-level rated R. I don't trust Marvel to make it more rated R. Then we have Eyes of Wakanda, which is a Wakanda animated series. Again, I don't care. I'm very selective over the animated shows I'm going to be watching. And with the likes of, like, Arcane Season 2 coming out, and then we've also got more animated stuff coming out next year, and then we've also got, you know, stuff right now, which I still have to see, like Demon Slayer Season 4. I just don't care about stuff like Eyes of Wakanda. Marvel Zombies could be interesting, but I don't. But if you've seen the zombie episode in the first season of What If, I think it was the first season, how comedic it was, I wouldn't trust it. Too many jokes. And then What If Season 3, I've seen only like about 1 or 2 episodes of What If overall from Season 1, and that was about it. I think it was 2 episodes I saw. So yeah, that was about it after that. So yeah, I don't care about more seasons of What If. I think they could do really interesting ideas with this, but they keep making it these very uninteresting ideas. And What If should be live action, a live action short, a live action 30-minute thing with the proper live action actors, I think. But with animation, I feel like they're copping out with all these scenarios that they could be doing. And then we have here Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which looks like it's trying to be a very diverse Spider-Man thing, kind of like the Spider-Verse movies, but it looks like it's not doing it with any semblance of the skill that was portrayed in those movies. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. If you take a look right here, this is a trailer shot in the trailer of our diverse Spider-Men, or whatever. And you can see if I just bring it in shot. This is our diverse group, and it doesn't look like it's done at all with the skill that is done with the Spider-Verse animation and the Spider-Verse writing. It just looks very generic to me, like they just didn't care. Some cool, like, okay artistic animation, but it looks like something you'll get bored of very quickly. So yeah, I don't really care about this. In terms of which one I care about the most, it's, of course, Daredevil Born Again. That's the one that I'm eyeing at. Doesn't mean I think it's going to be good, but let's hope they make it good. I really hope so. And then, the other, in terms of animation, which one I'm looking the most forward to, or I'd say, that's the wrong phrasing, which one I'm the most curious to see, it's Marvel Zombies. That's the one I'm the most curious to see. So, yeah, that's basically my 1-2 pick, is Daredevil Born Again and Marvel Zombies. Everything else, quite frankly, we could just get rid of it, and I would not care. And it's quite bad that of all the slate of stuff that they've got going here, the only thing that I care about is these two. It just goes to show how poorly they are doing here, that they're not giving people what they want. So I'm telling you, Daredevil will probably get high viewership, Marvel Zombies might, but all this other stuff, who cares? Like, seriously, no one cares. And they could do something that's cheap in terms of budget by hiring the original actors to play zombie versions of themselves, and do practical makeup, but to do it the way they're doing it, it's like, oh, this is so lame. It really is. Lame is the word. And let's see. And it's especially interesting when you take into account that the Penguin show, which I just watched the 6th episode. I was so busy this week. I only watched the 6th episode, I think, about 2 days ago. So I'm going to get the 7th episode quicker from my point of view, because I waited. I didn't wait the whole week to get the next episode. I can't wait to see what they do in that episode. It's going to be so good. They end it in such a great way, that recent episode. It was so good. I can't wait to see what they do. So, yeah, Penguin is doing great. We're going to get more of the Batman spin-off series, and we're going to get more spin-off series as well from James Gunn's DCU. Meanwhile, Marvel is giving us stuff like Wonder Man, Ironheart, Eyes of Wakanda, What If, the spectacular, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It's like, they're not giving us what we want. They really aren't. And this is not even counting the movies they got coming up, like Captain America Brave New World and Thunderbolts, which I've not really heard any hype from that either, from those two. So yeah, they're really just messing around here. The Logman says, we don't care about them. Yeah, a lot of people don't care about them. It's just too much, and they're not making good stuff either. So yeah, it is disappointing. Very disappointing, everyone. So, Elite says, The Penguin is the only great show that I like, while Marvel can care less. Yeah, they don't care less. They just care about diversity. That's what it is. There's nothing wrong with diversity, but you gotta make sure that your inspiration comes from the characters and the stories first. Not from the color of that character's skin. And then you think, oh wow, we're gonna get so much pats on the back and praise for this. Everyone's on to Marvel now. They're really trying to go for those pats on the back and cash in on, like, trends that only lasted for a little. Like, Agatha All Along was capitalizing on just a trendy song that was in the first WandaVision. But after a while, that trend passed, and WandaVision was not a show that was good in retrospect when you see how it connected to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So yeah, they really need to cut down on all the nonsense and just give us more of what we want. Then they can get more, they'll get better reviews, and they'll get better... Well, not who knows, better reviews is all depends on the movie. But at least at that point, Marvel will then get some eyes on them, because right now they're not getting the views or the eyes on them. If you look at the Nielsen ratings, this Agatha just fell off. It debuted, I think, in 8th place, then it fell to like 10th place, and now it's not there at all. So yeah, people are just not caring, and Marvel really are the problems with that, I think. So yeah, Big Bash says WandaVision sucks. Yeah, I thought it had potential, but in the end it could have been an hour and a half, but they just stretched it out to fit 9 episodes. 9 short episodes, by the way. So yeah, what do you guys think? Are you interested in any of these? And if you had to pick, which of the animated shows would you choose, and which of the live action would you choose? Although with live action, I think it's all fair to say we know which one everyone is going to choose. Classic Brickman says, WandaVision was good until Quicksilver came in. I think it wasn't even good until then. It was just too many promises, too many teasing, like they weren't progressing the story well enough. It felt like they didn't have much story, but they were saying, oh, look what we have, keep watching, keep being subscribed to Disney+. It felt more like they were just trying to keep our subscription than it was keep the story going. And then when you look at how WandaVision ties to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, it just shows how it doesn't tie into any of it, and we don't care. It's like it didn't tie in properly. Saeed says, it's a shame because I liked Agatha. Yeah, Agatha as a character was good in terms of what the actress brought to it. But on paper, in WandaVision, Agatha had nothing to do. I thought it was a waste of a character, and I even said why it was a waste of a character, because that song was saying it was Agatha all along, but it wasn't her all along, it was all Wanda. And then when you actually look at the little flashback montage they do, it turns out Agatha didn't do nothing. So it was just nonsense that it was like her all along, like she was the big twist villain. That was so silly. They could have made it good, but it just didn't work. But Agatha, when you think about it, shouldn't have even been in WandaVision, because the whole point of WandaVision is to set up how evil Wanda becomes for Doctor Strange the Multiverse of Madness. But then they didn't bring her into Doctor Strange the Multiverse of her evilness. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Then they didn't They didn't build up her evilness that ended up being in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So, yeah, it was just a bunch of stuff that they were trying to set up, and it did not come together in the end. So, yeah, let's see. Jess says, animated Spider-Man, Marvel Zombies, Daredevil Born Again, I'm interested in. Okay, that's cool. Classic Brickman said, all she did was kill a dog. Yeah, and one person was glitching, so she just put him back into Wanda's trance. That's not something that that Agatha did all along. That was clearly still Wanda. And at one point, she just lies to Vision and tries to make him suspect Wanda, even though he was already suspecting Wanda. He didn't need Agatha to make him suspect her. So yeah. Joshman55, great to see you, buddy. He says, did you see Agatha All Along, and what are your thoughts on it? I did not watch Agatha All Along, but who knows? If you guys vote for that on the watch-alongs on the YouTube Join section, on my YouTube Join, who knows? Maybe I'll watch it with you guys then. But right now, it's not something I feel like I need to see. Alright, Sai says, although I like that twist about the road not being real. Oh, was that a twist in there? The Witch's Road that was being said in the advertisements. Turns out it wasn't real. Okay, interesting. The Time Shadow has donated £1 through Streamlabs. Thank you very much, buddy. I always say to you guys, I appreciate these donations, so thank you very much. I'm really grateful for it. Let's see. The Time Shadow says, I've watched the first 2 Penguin episodes, and I did like them, but I find it a bit complicated. It's a lot going on, and I struggle to keep up with it. It's a problem I have with a lot of things. I mean to watch, but I just can't find motive because I'm struggling. I didn't think that the Penguin first 2 episodes were complicated. I thought they were pretty straightforward. If you want, you can try to go through it again. I'll tell you what I've been doing with the Penguin. I've been watching each episode twice. I watched the first episode on my own, and then the second episode... the first time I watched each of these episodes, I'm watching it on my own, and then I watch it with my brother. And we've been going through them, and I feel like watching them twice, there is a lot extra to get on a second viewing of these Penguin episodes. Stuff that you probably wouldn't have even noticed on the first viewing, you'll notice on the second viewing. So it is a great show to rewatch, and I've not done that with any of these Marvel shows. I've not been rewatching any of them. So for it to make me want to rewatch them, that is great praise indeed that it's made me do that. Ethan's Drawing says, I just saw episode 1 of Penguin and it was insanely good. It really is, isn't it? Keep watching, it gets more interesting. I will say, so far, I prefer the first 4 episodes to episodes 5 and 6, but they're still really good, and I'm curious to see where it goes. They ended that last episode on such a banger of a place where it's like, oh no, what's going to happen here? They're building it up so well, and in the 6th episode, Penguin actually is given one of his clothing attire that he's known for wearing. So they're starting to slowly make you notice that, yeah, he's becoming the Penguin. So I do love that, how they've done all that. Rohan, I've been doing incredibly well, thank you very much. I hope you've been doing well. Let's see here. Excuse me. Elite says, I see episode 6 of The Penguin and it's getting so good. Yeah, it is really good, The Penguin. So good. Far better than I would have anticipated. So yeah, The Penguin is doing very good. Marvel, I feel like they could, but they just have got this formula of like just churning out content. They don't care about the quality, just so long as it gets out there. And Ironheart is a prime example of that, because I don't know if you guys know this, but Ironheart has been filming since 2022, and it was in the can, meaning ready, like they could have put it on Disney Plus at any time in 2023. But look at it now, we're approaching 2025 and they've not even released it. That tells you right there that they've been sitting on it and they didn't feel the need to release it within a certain time period because it has no impact on the MCU. It doesn't matter when they release it. So that's one warning sign. And the second warning sign is that if it was so good, they would have released it, but they didn't. They held on to it for such a long time. That means that they have no confidence in it. So now they're just saying, all right, just put it out there so it seems like we have content. They don't seem to care. They don't seem to care about the quality. They're saying, yeah, just release it. We just need content. And they're thinking, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. I wouldn't be surprised if Ironheart is also, just like Echo, is a binge-watch show. If they say we're going to just release all the episodes for you to binge-watch, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they do with Ironheart, because no one cares. And Ironheart, if I remember correctly, I think it's coming out June. That's the month of my birthday. They had to release something so lame at that point. Khan says, so Eric, what you're saying is Daredevil, I'm interested, but what... Daredevil, you're interested but worried, and Marvel Zombies. I'm interested in it, but I'm not looking forward to it. That's kind of what I am saying. Yeah, I'm interested, but I'm not looking forward to it. I'm more dreading it in the case of Daredevil Born Again. Marvel Zombies, I'm kind of expecting it to be just like What If in terms of quality. So yeah, the fact I've not even seen What If kind of tells you what I think about Marvel Zombies. And it was such a cool sounding project when they announced it all those years ago, but now it's just another animated show, and it feels like, yeah, they're not gonna... It could be far better than what they've tried to make it. So, yeah, Marvel Zombies is such a cool concept. I think if they brought in the real actors and did it in live action and did it with practical effects, can you imagine if they had Chris Evans in like practical effects zombie makeup, or Robert Downey Jr. and they said to them, "Come in just for this little special that we're doing," and they could say, "This is lower in budget, so we're not going to pay you as much because it's all practical effects and it'll be all zombies and everything." They could have done something like that, but instead they're doing it in animation. And it's like, one of the cooler ideas, you're doing it in animation, but meanwhile, Wonder Man and Ironheart here get done in live action. They get the live action treatment. This is what I mean when I say Marvel are not giving us what we want. It doesn't make sense. Heck, they weren't even going to give us this Daredevil show. They only did that once they realized, crap, our movies are bombing at the box office. And they also only did it when they found out that not only are they bombing at the box office, but people were like, we want R-rated stuff, and their PG-13 stuff was flopping. Only then did they hit the panic button and says, all right, we gotta now do the R-rated stuff because people are losing interest. So if we advertise it as rated R, maybe they'll watch it. So that's why now they're doing the rated R thing. And then Deadpool and Wolverine, what Ryan Reynolds pushed for, ended up being super successful. And they're like, oh, so we can make money with R-rated stuff, even though that was clearly obvious before. So it just goes to show how they're very reactionary in all the wrong ways. Like, they're not reacting to the market and to what people want in the right ways. We got that. I mean, even when you look at Disney in general, that's kind of what they've been doing. Like, when you look at the characters, for example, and I was thinking about this earlier, because I was watching a video where someone talked about, I think, Marvel, and someone talked about how Valkyrie and Captain Marvel were both turned into a couple. And I was thinking, well, when you think about that, where did that idea even come from? We know, like, very niche fandoms were asking for that just because they like the two actresses. But it's like, but how did the characters meet, and where did they become a couple? It makes no sense when you think about it, because Valkyrie has just been technically a bad person all the way through till, like, the first half of Thor Ragnarok. So there's no reason that Valkyrie would end up going out with Captain Marvel, because their viewpoints don't align. So it's like, where did that happen? Because in the Marvels, they basically hint that it happened. And it makes no sense. It's like, why, how, where, when? But they just do it anyway because they say, well, there's a niche fan base out there that wants it. But what about the bigger fan base? They want stuff too. How come you're not giving them the stuff that matters, that they want? And as a result, no one came to the Marvels because they cater towards an audience that is so incredibly niche that most people weren't even aware of this audience. So it really is kind of ridiculous how Marvel are not prioritizing their own viewers. They're only prioritizing weird social media groups. It's so weird and bizarre. So yeah, what Marvel are doing, it's not a surprise that they're failing because they keep making all this garbage. Look at this stuff. The majority of that animated stuff that you see on the screen right over there is just, it's just boring. It's just like, I look at that and I'm bored. I look at stuff like what James Gunn is announcing, and I'm like, ooh, so you're getting a Green Lantern TV show. Oh, you're going to get more of Peacemaker. Oh, you're going to get more of this, and you're going to get more of that. Peacemaker is more niche, but at least he had a build-up and a great first season. So yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. I think that they really need to just... And that's where we all are, is where they have to stop making all this crud and stop making stuff people want. Stop wasting money on Eyes of Wakanda, What If Season 3, there's Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Ironheart, and Wonder Man, and put that money towards one project that people will love, rather than 5 projects that people don't care about, and the majority of people will not see. It's that simple. It really is. So, let's see. Deadwolf says, I would rather see a Punisher series. Exactly, you'd rather see a Punisher series, but Marvel ain't giving it to you. Instead, they put Punisher in Daredevil's show. Saeed says Agatha had that kiss scene. I heard about that. Not surprising. Pretty much G Gamer. Pretty much G Gamer. What did G Gamer say? Oh, I can't see. Can't see it. Alright, so. Any more thoughts on this? Or shall we move on to the next story? Elite says Marvel's trying to force us to watch these shows rather than give us what we want. Yeah, and it ain't working. And they know it's not working. That they're losing money. Supersonic, I've not seen Transformers 1 yet. Khan says, let's move on to the next story. Alright then. Next story is Godzilla -1. Now, I reviewed this movie, as you all know. And for those of you that don't know, be sure to check out the review. And I gave my thoughts. I thought this was a really surprising movie. I was genuinely surprised by just how good it turned out to be. And how much was done with it with such a low budget. Apparently the budget is lower than $15 million. Which is insane what they were able to accomplish with that. And it even won a special Best VFX Oscar. So there's a lot of praise for Godzilla -1. And now we've heard news that Godzilla -1 is going to be getting a sequel. Now we don't know. Let's put it this way. The movie is being announced as... It's in Toho. They have announced that they will be making another Godzilla movie. They've not said if it's a sequel or not. But I think it is actually a sequel. I'll let you know why. Now, if I had to guess, one of the reasons I think it is going to be a sequel is because they are bringing back the same director. They're bringing back Takashi Yamazaki, who did the first one. He did a phenomenal job with the first one. And I remember at the time, this is why I think he's going to make a sequel, is because I remember at the time when he made the first movie and there was interviews and everything, if I remember correctly, Takashi did express interest in making a sequel to Godzilla -1. And the movie even ends in a way where it's like, yeah, it's a sequel could happen. So, yeah, and also, yeah, King of the Monsters 2021 said it. He's also the writer and VFX supervisor. But the fact that he's the writer means that, yeah, he probably knew there's more to this story. I think that they could continue it. And now that he is able to make another movie, it looks like he's going to get his chance. Now, I've heard some people say they don't want him to make a sequel because they don't want the movie to be like the sequel to be like Joker 2. But I think Joker 2 is an extreme example. That was clearly made by someone who stopped caring and just didn't give a shit. But these people, you could tell with Godzilla, they care. When you see Takashi, like even at the Oscars, he was going around with a Godzilla toy. Him and Christopher Nolan, when they actually met each other, you see he's there smiling. He's still holding his Godzilla toy, which is all funny. So he cares. He does love Godzilla, and I think he wouldn't do a sequel unless there was a good story for it. And seeing as he was the writer for the first movie and directed the first movie, I am positive that he can do a very good job continuing it. Then again, I did say the same about Todd Phillips, so who knows? Maybe I could be the one in the wrong. But yeah, I have faith that he can do a very good job. I really do. I am very confident in his ability. He is an extraordinarily talented filmmaker, especially to pull off what he did at such a low budget of like 15 million. And he said 15 million. He goes, we'd be lucky if we had 15 million. So it was even less than 15 million, the budget. King of the Monsters has asked a very interesting question. He goes, now my only question is, will he get a much bigger budget to work with? That is a very good question, and I hope he does. He'll deserve it to get a bigger budget. And let's see what he can do with a bigger budget. It means we can get more Godzilla scenes, which I would want. Great characters, of course, because the first one had phenomenal characters. But I still want more I still want my Godzilla. So if they do more, that would be cool. And also, what's also cool is the... my phone here. Is the $2 donation from Killick. And you can see, Killick, if you look down here, you just dropped a bit of money into that, into the jar, our tip jar. When you did your donation, a little bit of money fell into that jar. So, thank you very much. And it says here, this is your first super chat. Oh, thanks a lot, buddy. I really appreciate the donation. I always say your donations help, so thank you very much. That's a huge help, and I really appreciate it. But yes, you said sorry you're late to the stream. Don't worry about it. You're here, and we're talking about the second story right now, which is the potential of a Godzilla -2. a potential that they're going to make a sequel to Godzilla Minus One, which was a big surprise movie to everyone in terms of how good it was. According to Steven Spielberg, he told the director he saw it 3 times, although I don't know if that's true or if that's a lie or what. We'll have to see. And Crazy Cat Lady has donated £5.54. Sarah, are you in the chat, by the way? Let me know, Sarah, if you're in the chat, please. Crazy Cat Lady says, do you pick the Lion King or the Hedgehog last time? Do you pick the Lion King or the Hedgehog? Last time I picked the clown instead of the wild robot. Oh, Sarah's here. That's good. I was just wondering. I just wanted to know if you were impersonating someone else. That was all. But I'm glad you're still here. Let me read that again. Do you pick the lion or the hedgehog last time? I picked the clown instead of the wild robot. I learned my lesson this time. I'm going to go with the more kid version. I'm gonna go watch Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Oh, you're trying to say, do I pick the Lion King movie coming out or the Sonic the Hedgehog 3? I'll pick Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And in terms of picking the clown, you mean picking Joker 2. You pick Joker 2 instead of the wild robot. You learned your lesson this time. I'm going to go with the more kid version. I'm going to go watch Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Well, this one's pretty much more straightforward. We got blindsided by Todd Phillips and Joker 2, but there's no getting blindsided by this. Sonic 3 is a party. Everyone's going to go watch that. And I've got plans for Sonic around the time Sonic 3 releases as well, not just a Versus video, so yeah, there's a lot of fun to be had with Sonic, and everyone's going to be highly anticipating it, so yeah, that'll be fun to build up to that. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see Sonic 3, and we will be talking about Sonic 3 in this stream, so stay tuned. And Crazy Cat Lady, thank you so much for that £5.54 donation. I really appreciate it. I always say to you guys, the donations help, and yeah, they really do, so thank you very much. I think this is the first time Crazy Cat Lady has donated through Streamlabs, so thank you. Although you've not commented on the stream, which is interesting. Like, that's how I'm like, oh, you guys are watching. I always look at the chat first. But yeah, I think that might be Crazy Cat Lady's first time donating through Streamlabs. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is her first time, so thank you very much. So Elite says, Sonic 3 definitely seeing. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing it too. Okay, glad you're in the chat, by the way, Sarah. So what does everyone else think about this? Do you want a sequel to Godzilla Minus One, or do you just wish that they don't make a sequel? What is your guys' thoughts? Ethan's drawing says, this is a big year for Shadow the Hedgehog. It really is. Ah, Sarah's doing math homework. Oh, you really are multitasking then. You said you were multitasking in the chat. Ooh, Saeed says, I can't wait for Shrek 5. Who's with me? Yeah, apparently it's going to come out in 2026, I think. I think we talked about that on one of the previous streams. We still love you, Eric. I always love you guys as well. Khan says, personally, I'm okay with the sequel if they can do it right. If they can do right with it. Yeah, me too. Oh, Sarah's not excited for Shrek. Oh, really? I thought now is the perfect time to release a Shrek movie, personally, if you ask me. Source Fierce goes, you're a colourful bunch. All of us lot, I think. But yeah. Sarah, I agree. I hate it when people just milk a franchise too, but I feel like with Shrek, enough time has passed to where you could make Shrek nowadays. Because if you look at Puss in Boots 2, for example, that proved if you can make a great movie with Puss in Boots 2, there must be a great movie with Shrek that you can make. Not to mention, I think it's the same people that worked on Puss in Boots 2 that are working on Shrek 5, I think, and I hope. But yeah, the thing is, Shrek came about because the guy that worked on it, he worked at Disney, he did not get a promotion, and I think he left Disney and went to DreamWorks instead. And Shrek was his way of saying F you to Disney. Hence all the fairy tale creatures, all the jokes, all the adult humor. It was all there to have a go at Disney and stuff. So yeah, they did an amazing job with Shrek. And I think nowadays, when you look at where Disney is, I think there's a lot more jokes they could make. Imagine if they do their Shrek versions of Frozen, for example. That would be fun. Imagine if they have, like, an evil Elsa in the movie who's actually evil and is not, like, you know, changed at the last minute to become good, like they did with the animated movie. In the animated movie, they turned Elsa... the Let It Go song was supposed to be her evil, villainous transformation. But once they heard how great the song was, the director of the movie said that she wanted to change it and have Elsa be a good character instead. So originally she was supposed to be bad in Frozen, but she changed it. Deadwolf says, I heard John Lithgow wants to return. Didn't John Lithgow do Lord Farquaad? Which, if you rearrange, apparently Farquaad was also a kind of like adult joke. Because if you take away a letter or two from the word Farquaad, it spells fuckwad. That was actually a joke that they did in the first Shrek movie. So that was amazing. That they actually put that in there and no one knew about it until I think just a few years ago. I think people found out. So that was really good. JWK, I feel like I'm the only person on this planet who thinks Toy Story 5 will be good. It's just not necessary. That's what it is. I really think it's not necessary. They did such a great job with those first 3 movies. Even the 4th movie was not necessary. It made over $1 billion, but people have kind of turned on that movie now. And been like, yeah, it was just, they should have ended it with 3, because I don't like the ending they did with it. Oh, hi, good times. How you been? Sonic 3 will be special. Will mark the end of my first movie trilogy in all cinemas. Oh, wow, cool. The first movie trilogy that I saw that I can think of, I think it was Nolan's Batman movies. I saw Batman Begins in the theatre, I saw The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises as well. So yeah, that's one of the trilogies that I saw. And I remember the first Toy Story movie I saw in theatres was Toy Story 2. Likewise, the first X-Men movie I saw in theatres was X-Men 2 as well. So yeah. Movie Fan says the Shrek movies can get away with really crude humour. They can, and people expect it as well. Big Bash says, I miss humour like that. I miss humour like that as well, buddy. You're certainly not going to get that from Disney, so that's why I think Shrek, in response to Sarah, that's why I think Shrek, there actually is more you can do with it. Not just in terms of the comedy, but especially now in terms of the stories and where fairy tales have gone now. I feel like they could do a lot of like commentary and mockery of it. Especially how now they say fairy tales, they fell in love with someone they just met. It's like, yeah, but that's kind of what fairy tales were. So I wonder if they take that commentary and apply like their own mockery kind of like twist and humor to it. Especially with Snow White. I wonder what happens if they can they make fun of the live action remakes now too? That would be interesting to see what Shrek would do with all that. Khan says, so Eric, how would you do a -1 sequel? What would be a good idea you think that the Godzilla sequel needs? You need great characters still. You need great characterizations. I'm curious as to whether or not he'll bring in the same characters, because if he could, I would be very happy with that. But the question is, what story would you give them? And I don't know what story you could give them, because they kind of ended it beautifully at the end of the first one, but at the same time, if they have a good idea, I would like to see them continue in the second one as a family unit. That would be fun to see, like really cool to see. And also in these Japanese movies, like how many times in like movies that get kind of like these mainstream appeals, like Godzilla -1, how often do you see a sequel that has the same characters in it? I have not really seen many. I'm not going to say that I've sit here and watched loads of them, but I've seen a lot of anime, but I've not really seen a lot of these Japanese movies personally. And it would be cool if they could actually make a Godzilla sequel that actually brings back the same characters and see where they have gone. So I don't know. But really it all depends on character. Godzilla can come back however he wants, but it all depends on the characters they do. Maybe it'll be the next generation. Who knows? Like the daughter grows up, maybe? I don't know. We'll have to see what they do. Maybe she's a teenager now and her parents are getting older. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. There's a lot of stuff they could do. Saeed says, I miss the Shrek humour. I do too. Sarah says, I forgot we were talking about Godzilla. Yeah, the Shrek conversation kind of came in, didn't it? Alright, so I think that's enough time spent there. Who's ready to talk about Sonic? Me. I am. Alright then, so Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is coming out this December. We are all looking forward to it. And yeah, there's a little bit of news. There's not too much news right now, but a little bit of news that's coming around about Sonic, and that is that the movie has gotten a PG rating. Now, that is kind of, it's not surprising. I will say a touch disappointing. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because Shadow is a much darker character. In fact, if you look at the development he has in the video games, It is some quite dark shit, and it all revolves around, like, you could just see, that is too deep of an image with a character to be in something like a Sonic movie. And there's a lot you can do with that. You can even take that to, like, I would say what they should do is they should be able to take that to, like, some, not super dark territory, but a more mature territory. Shadow could be a more mature character. I don't want him to become another joking Knuckles by the end of it, because he's meant to be, there's supposed to be more to him. And I really do hope that they bring that to him. And if I press here, look, this image right here, this is where the darkness all comes from, is between Shadow and this little girl right here. I'm not going to say what happens if you've not played the games or seen the games. I've not played them, but I've seen them. And what happens is really quite interesting. And I feel like they could really... Here's the thing, what I'm thinking. They could make this just another fun family romp, just another fun family movie with a darker character this time around, who's a little darker for the PG rating. But I think they could either make this a hard PG, or even if they made it a PG-13, like not a dark PG-13, but like the Marvel PG-13, but without all those jokes. Basically, Shadow, I feel like, it could actually really, like, inject new life into this franchise and new dignity into this franchise. Because when you watch the first two Sonic movies, they are a lot of fun, but they are directed more towards younger audiences or family audiences, but they're not directed towards them because they are deep. But I feel like with Shadow, you could get deep. And imagine how much dignity and status it would give the Sonic franchise if they actually bring a very good and, like, painful and emotional character arc story with Shadow here. It would be really cool if they could make Shadow a very sympathetic and sophisticated kind of, like, personality. I think that would be so good. Like, Big Bat says it good, a hard PG. Because, again, it would take the Sonic franchise to another level. It's like, they're not just fun movies that you're going to watch and have some fun with your kids every time. People will be like, wow, the Sonic movies, they actually have, like, depth to them. That's one thing I'll describe the Sonic movies as, the first two. They have no depth to them. They'll try to give it a touch more, but depth is not a word. But depth is a very rich word. And if you can provide depth to your movie, that will give it a whole other kind of life. Look at the Spider-Verse movies. They could have just been fun, animated Spider-Man movies, but they gave them a lot of depth. They gave Miles a lot of depth, Peter a lot of depth, Spider-Gwen, by the second movie certainly, gave her a lot of depth. Miguel, they gave him depth. Look at what depth can do for these more light-hearted characters. It can do a lot. And I feel like Shadow is one of those characters that should be given the depth treatment. If he is, this Sonic franchise can, like, be elevated to a whole other level. So I really think and hope that they give depth to Shadow the Hedgehog. I really, really do. I don't want them to, like, water it down and say, okay, now he's just another Knuckles, or now he's just another good person on their team. In the games, you can either choose to make him good or bad. I hope they say we're going to keep him in a bit more of an ambiguous place. That would be very interesting if they could pull that off with this movie. And do my eyes deceive me? Or is that Sarah right there giving a $12 super chat? Thank you very, very much, Sarah, for the donation. I really, you know I appreciate it. Sarah says, what takes the cake for the worst video game adaptation, and what takes the cake for the best? Okay, very good question. What takes the cake for the worst adaptation in video games? I would say what I've seen all the way from beginning to the end. I would say the worst probably is Mario. People are saying Mario, but I've not seen it all the way to the end. But then again, maybe that's how bad it is. But I feel like Uwe Ball has a lot of terrible ones that are worse than Sonic, maybe. You know what? I'm gonna say the Mario movie. The Mario movie is probably the worst one. The best one? Ooh, the best one is... I will say, years ago when I was a kid, when it came out, I watched the Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time movie, and I really liked that, but I've not played the Prince of Persia games. So I remember enjoying that movie, but I don't know if it was a good video game adaptation, so I guess I should not bring that one in. The best adaptation to me... it probably was Sonic 2, the more I think about it. I wasn't a fan of The Last of Us Season 1, only because I thought the game did everything better. So we'll see how Season 2 does, because I think that can improve from the game. And another one, Arcane was really good, like genuinely good. Sarah, I've not seen Borderlands, so... Aha, so basically I've got, I don't have to say Borderlands because I've not seen it. I'm sorry that you actually did see it. But yeah, I'd say Arcane was great. I really did enjoy Arcane. But yeah, that's my answer to you, Sarah. I would say that the best was Sonic 2. The worst was Sonic. Let me just raise... Oh, that's not it. Let's just quickly raise the tip goal so you can see your names go right at the bottom when you donate. There we go. All right. Let's see. Where is it? Elite has super chatted $2. And he asks, it could push for... let's see, where... It could push for some more hard PG films. I agree. So yeah, I would like them to really, like I said, push for this to be a hard PG. Or even if they went to PG-13, that would have been impressive if they actually said, let's take it there with this particular character. But yes, I think a hard PG is the most realistic. So this PG rating is not bad, but I hope that there's more to it than meets the eye. I don't mean to be quoting Transformers, but I really do mean it when I say that. I hope there is more to this PG rating. I hope this movie is darker than the first two. And like I said, depth. That's what you need, depth. I hope they give these scenes that we see, like when Shadow's looking at his reflection, I hope they give these scenes a lot of depth, and I hope they focus on them, and they let the scenes breathe. And they don't think, this is too deep, this is too dark, or this is too adult. Quickly, throw it, cut to Sonic and his friends making jokes. I hope I hope they find a good balance between the two tones is what I really hope. So yeah, Big Bat says, I want Shadow to be Big Bash, I don't understand. I want Shadow to be more of a dark ally. Oh yeah, more of a dark ally. Yes, I would want that too. You don't know if he's fully on their side, but he was willing to team up with them. No, Sarah, I've not seen the new Transformers movie, but I do want to. I will at some point. Mainly because you guys want me to see it. Sarah says, I don't know if it's worth the watch or not. My friend watched it, but he rated The Menu 10 and Aliens 8, so I don't really trust his opinions. Aliens, yeah, he gave Aliens an 8. For me, Aliens is a 10. Dark Lord says, I'm really hoping Shadow pushes the film's rating to its limit. That's what I hope too. Because it wouldn't be, I know it's not realistic to say PG-13. That's not going to happen, probably. Well, clearly it hasn't. But it's not out of the realms of possibility for Shadow to get to a PG-13, because he is a much darker character. So it would have been cool if they actually, like I said, pushed the PG rating, or at least had a generic PG-13. For Sonic, a generic PG-13... I make fun of the Marvel movies and I criticize them for having generic PG-13s, but for Sonic, a generic PG-13 could go a long way. Sonic says, imagine a Shadow spin-off movie that's PG-13. Yeah, that could be really interesting. That could be so good. I really think there's more potential to this Sonic franchise now that they've got a more in-depth character like Shadow. And I hope they delve into it. The director, actually, when he started out as, I think, as an animator, he used to animate for Shadow. So he says now it's like a full circle moment that he's able to direct for him. So I hope he takes pride in representing Shadow, and I hope he does a great job with it. What do you guys think? Do you like my idea of a hard PG-13, or even if they could have gone like a generic PG-13? Do you think that... Because I think that really, those ratings really lend itself to Shadow. What do you guys think? Khan says, ironically, we're interested in watching a video game adaptation of Sonic, a franchise that was dying at one point, and now we're all into a Sonic 3 than any of the MCU shows. Now that's crazy. Yeah, it is. Just tells you a lot. It'll be interesting to see what the box office performance is like for Sonic 3 right here versus Mufasa when that comes out. Let me check. I think Sonic 3 and Mufasa, I think they both come out on the same day, was it? Sonic the Hedgehog 3, 21st of December. And Mufasa comes out the 20th of December. Yeah, so Mufasa and Sonic both are going to be coming out very soon. I hope they give Sonic the IMAX screens. The bigger screens. I really hope they get the bigger screens. Crazy Cat Lady. I always say this. She doesn't live up to her name. She's an incredibly nice cat lady as far as I'm concerned. Has donated £3.85 through Streamlabs. Thank you very much, especially for donating through Streamlabs. She says, last time I picked Joker 2, I watched Wild Robot. I watched Wild Robot, and it was good. In December, I'll watch the Hedgehog instead of Mufasa. Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. To everyone here, I would recommend that you watch Sonic 3 over Mufasa. Hi, Jess. Good to see you're back. Big Bash of Sonic will crucify Mufasa. I think it will. It'll be a funny loss. Wouldn't it be funny to see how Sonic beats Mufasa? It really would be fun. That would be fun to see for Sonic to beat Mufasa. Sonic 3 will run over Lion King Mufasa. It will. It really will. It's not even going to be a competition. In fact, I don't even care about covering Mufasa. I'll probably review it for you guys, but I'm not going to do a versus video. I'll be covering Sonic 3. So, yeah, that's what I'll be doing. Ooh, Dark Lord, I love that. Fireboy, I don't know exactly what you're getting at. Fireboy says Sonic is going to kiss Mufasa. And Sarah's like, Fireboy, that is a wild image. It really is, Fireboy. But the Dark Lord says it best. Sonic will scar Mufasa. There you go. That's probably the best thing. I think that's the best line to say. Sonic is going to scar Mufasa. I probably might use that. That'll be a fun line. That will be. Khan says, Eric, did you finally watch Dune 2? Did you finally finish the movie? If you haven't, please, you have to see the movie itself. Actually, very entertaining. It's really good. I haven't seen it, but I will see it before the end of the year because I want to see if it goes on my top 5 best list. Jess says, Sonic 3, Deadpool 3, and Venom 3 are the best third installments of 2024. You've not even seen Sonic 3 yet. So we aren't sure yet. It could fall flat on his face. You never know. Here's hoping it doesn't, but you never know. And it's cool to see Sonic go from the lower budget it had in the first movie to the bigger budget it had in the second movie, and now I'm guessing the even bigger budget in the third movie. The more they bring down those human characters, the better these movies get to me, I think. Except for Jim Carrey. You better keep Jim Carrey. Sonic 3 will throw a dead Simba to Mufasa. That's... Forget the Fireboy's wild image. That's a dark image. Man. Good Time says, I know Sonic 3 isn't out yet, but what if Sonic 4 is a time travel movie and introduces Silver and Blaze the Cat, and they fight Metal Sonic? That, to me, sounds a bit more niche, because I've heard of Shadow, I've heard of Knuckles, but going over now to Silver and Blaze the Cat, and Metal Sonic, that sounds a bit more niche. I don't know. We'll have to see what they do, but if it makes money, they're going to make more. Sonic 3 all the way, says Killick. Yeah, I agree with all of you. Sonic 3, without a shadow of a doubt, is the one that I'm going to be spending my money on, and I'll happily do it. Rather than regrettably like I did with Venom 3. Eric, can you think of any movies that do push for a hard PG? Yeah, Coraline, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Jumanji, I would say, pushed the PG rating back in the day. It was essentially a horror movie for kids. I'd say Monster House, it fits PG, but it also pushes PG, if that makes sense, and a couple scenes in particular. So yeah, there are a lot of movies out there that push the PG rating. I mean, even if you look at Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, that was the movie that really broke the PG rating, and then, you know, they had to get, I think it was a PG-13. Yeah, Gremlin, says Kevin. Yeah, PG, although here it got a 15. But now it's got a 12, so yeah, PG-13 now. Technically Sonic 3 over Mufasa and Kraven. Oh yeah, Kraven's coming out this year, isn't it? I completely forgot. But I don't care either, so there's that. Sonic 3 will say, "Long live the king" to Mufasa. Yep, Sonic, yeah. I hope Sonic 3 plays a variation of "I am all of me." No, 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 no! That is something that is just in... That was a crappy thing in Rise of Skywalker. How dare you? Who said that? Let me have a look. The edgy closet worm. Well, you certainly are edgy. What movie created the R rating, says Big Bash? I don't know. In terms of gaming, the M rating was created because of Mortal Kombat. I know that. Seriously, dude, you are nutty if that's what you say you actually want. Okay, now you guys are starting to try to outdo yourself. New Godzilla X Kong says Sonic 3 will kill Mufasa, the Lion King, to keep it bad. If Sonic 3 brings Crush 40 to play, Live and Learn, I will cheer and jump. Okay, now this is getting a bit too niche for me. I'm not aware of this. I Am All of Me is a song in the Shadow the Hedgehog game. Oh, is it? I commit tax fraud. It is. Oh, okay, that's interesting. If Live and Learn plays Sonic 3 while fighting in space, it will be cosmic, says Good Times. Okay, I see what you guys mean. I'm sorry, I didn't know that's what you originally meant. But, cool. Crush 40 made the song Live and Learn from Adventure 2. Okay. But yeah, that's all really cool and neat, that is, I think. So yeah, Sonic 3, PG rating. I hope it's a hard PG, and I hope it's not a PG, like the light PG, because with Shadow, you can bring a lot of depth to his character, so I hope they do go the dark places that the story requires, especially in this particular image right here. And I hope they make him deep as a character. Then again, Keanu Reeves is not really very good lately at performing deep with his voice. I think he was better in the first 3 John Wick movies, but in the 4th one, he lost his acting. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to him. Joey, I agree. Joey says, I hope they push the PG rating with this one. That's alright, Fireboy. You only did it once. It was a joke. Reggie Keith says Irish. Okay. Sonic says Ethan's exactly. Okay, now I think you guys are talking to each other. Alright. Any questions about Sonic 3? Or any opinions you guys want to say? I'll read them out if you got any opinions you want to say about Sonic. Deadwolf says Sonic will beat Kraven the Hunter. Oh, it definitely will. It's not even a question. The animated Lord of the Rings movie over Kraven. I don't even like the look of that animated Lord of the Rings movie. I think that looks like just some generic anime thing you'd get on Netflix, but with a Lord of the Rings skin on it. Movie fan says, Eric, I checked Fandango, and Sonic 3 rating isn't official yet. The MPAA, from what I've read, have actually given it its rating. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm just taking a look, because it seems to say that, oh hi, the last Cabalorian, I hope I said that right, I'm sorry if I didn't. I'm just looking into it. It is rated PG-13. Sorry, rated PG. Pearlandine listing on Twitter is how someone found out. Ooh, got a donation from the Time Shadow and from Kevin. I'll answer these. So a £1 donation from the Time Shadow and a $2 donation from Kevin. Thank you very much, Kevin. I appreciate that. He goes, what was your reaction on Sonic's first film design? It wasn't good. It looked like he was dry and like boring to look at, and it's like, how could you get it so wrong? So I'm glad they changed it, because that was an abomination, and it's one of the times where them listening actually paid off and worked. Yeah, the movie is rated PG-13 by the MPAA, so... Sorry, PG by the MPAA. So yeah. And the Time Shadow says, I left a comment a few times, but I think you missed it. What Sonic game would you recommend I play in order to learn Shadow's full story? I don't know, because I'm not a big... Like, out of all the games I played a few Sonic games, but not so many. I played a bit of Shadow the Hedgehog on the GameCube on my previous Steam Deck, but I've not played much of it. I didn't really have the time, but I watched some videos on YouTube where they explained what Shadow's backstory is, and they talked about it. It's really cool, and it is quite dark and tragic, so I hope that they represent that correctly, and they push the PG rating, I hope. Kevin says, worst game of 2005. What? The Shadow game? It was when I was very young when it came out, and I did not have a console. Shadow the Hedgehog game release date. 15th of November 2005. Yeah, the game didn't get... I found out years later that the game didn't... When I was older and YouTube was a thing, I found out the game was actually not very well received. And Kevin says it was the worst game of 2005. Wow. I've heard a lot more kinder things about the game in retrospect, so people do like it better in retrospect than they did at the time. Sarah says, would you like to have seen Amy in the Sonic movies, Eric? Who's Amy? See, this is where... Amy Sonic. Oh, the girl. That was her name. For some reason, Rose sticks out, but Amy doesn't. What is... That's bizarre. But yeah, maybe at some point, but I like the fact that it's all the guys right now. Too much Hollywood has been trying to, like, force the female characters in, and they've been doing it too quickly. Look what happened with Blade. Like I said, they were constantly trying to force in his daughter for some reason. So they keep trying to force them in when it's like, this is not the story, this is not right now the time, the story's not about them. But they want to put them in anyway, just because it feels like they have to out of obligation. They're afraid of getting cancelled if they don't or something, but it's not like that the other way around. So no, I would say not yet. Eventually, yes, but not right now. I like the idea that we're getting one new Hedgehog character at a time. Tails was introduced in a credit scene, and then we got Knuckles as the villain, but then he ended up being a good guy. Shadow, I hope he stays... I hope he doesn't go the way of Knuckles, where he's introduced, he's the bad guy, and then he becomes the good guy by the end. I hope they be more ambiguous with him, like I said. Amy Rose has a crush on Sonic. I don't know who can have a crush on Sonic. He's too jokey, I'd say. They need to instill him with some more confidence, I think, because he always sounds like he's joking when he's talking. Even when he's being serious, he hasn't got that confidence to him. So that's what I think Sonic needs to have, is that confidence. Especially because now we're in movie 3. He's got to get it at some point. Joey says, I think Robotnik will betray Team Sonic at the end of Sonic 3 and will create Metal Sonic, and Shadow will join Team Sonic. That sounds fun. And I think, yeah, he's going to betray them. Because he's got an alliance of convenience with Sonic, which I think is a great idea. But the alliance of convenience, it always ends with the bad guy always betraying the good guy. And you know Robotnik's going to try to do that. He's going to develop tech to kill a hedgehog, like, you know, these superpowered hedgehogs, and I'm betting you he's going to make something on the side for our main Sonic characters, you know, our main hedgehog characters. Sonic has that personality like Deadpool, Edith, him talking too much, says Jess. Yeah, he does have a habit of talking a lot. Mikhail says, hi Eric, I want to watch The Wild Robot are you saying you went? I went to watch The Wild Robot Sunday, 3rd of November, and watch Venom The Last Dance on Sunday, October 27th. Oh, that's good. I hope you enjoyed the movies. I hope you had a good time. Big Bash says, does Sonic age in the movies? That's a very good question. He never really ages, at least from what I've seen. Sarah says, how many Sonic movies do you think there's going to be? As long as they keep making money, there'll be as many as they want to make. Saeed says, Venom 3 felt rushed, and some parts of it is better and worse than both Venom 1 and 2. The Logman says, I hope it just stays at 3. They're not going to make just 3, they're going to make more. Video game movies now are like the next big thing. More so than comic books right now. That's the next big trend that Hollywood is trying to jump on, but they need to do a good job of it because they've done a lot of bad jobs recently, you know. They can't afford to do that. But just don't expect anything good from Sony, which makes it all the more shocking that Nintendo, of all people, are giving their Zelda franchise to Sony to make a movie out of. Joey says, I hope Donut Lord dies in Sonic 3. It will cause Sonic to become more mature. Yeah, that would be an interesting idea. I think he's the only character that if he dies we'll care about, you know, so... Khan says, the Minecraft movie will most likely be the movie that Eric will die on the inside the most. I'm sorry, Eric. I'm so sorry for you. You have to review that. Here's the thing. I've not played Minecraft, so for me, who knows? I'll probably watch it and be like, it was fine. So I won't be dying at all. The people that actually play Minecraft, I'm sure they'll probably have more problems with it than I will. But I don't really see the problem with it watching the trailer. If you watch my trailer reaction, I talk about my thoughts on it. My trailer reactions on my Patreon and my YouTube memberships as well, so become a member and you'll see it. Mikhail says, I'm waiting for Wicked and Moana 2. Oh, and well, now you're spoiling the surprise. Moana 2. Don't think I've forgotten about Moana 2, and I've not even seen Moana 1 yet. Sarah says, the problem is, it's not Minecraft. Yeah, it looks more like that Jumanji movie, doesn't it? Not the first one, the good one, but the Dwayne Johnson one and the two that he made, where they are people that go into the world of the game. It seems very much Jumanji-like, doesn't it? Yes, I says, I'm not watching that garbage Minecraft movie. Joshman says, you got to do a versus video on Moana 1 versus Moana 2. I'll try, but like I said, I've not even seen the first one yet, but Moana's coming out at the end of this month, isn't it? Sarah says, hated that Jumanji movie so much. You and me both, sister. Trevor Bistro says, can't wait to see The Wolfman with Lee Whannell directing. He did such a good job with The Invisible Man. Grimace says, Eric, what's your favourite out of the Venom movies? Venom 3, I'd say. Alright, looks like... I wish I brought water with me. I completely forgot. Alright, it seems like everyone is done with the Sonic story. Is there any other questions you have before we move on? I'll give you about 30 seconds to write your questions and I'll answer. I have a quiz for you, Eric, says Good Times. What powers does Silver have? Teleportation or telekinesis? I'm going to say telekinesis. Because Shadow has teleportation, doesn't he? We saw in the third trailer. Oh, Sarah, you leaving. That's so sad. I always love having you on the chat. I've got one more story to go through as well. But if you do, feel free, please do come back when you have the time, and we'll probably still be here for the Q&A, so... that would be good if you could come back. Would really, I love having all of you here. Good Time says, yes, you got it right. Well, that wasn't very hard to decipher. That's great, Sarah. I hope to see you back for the Q&A. But it was great to see you. If you don't come back, thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate it. But we'll all miss you, and we'll all be very happy when you get back on the when or if you get back for the Q&A. So take care, Sarah. I hope you. Good luck on your maths test. Or on your maths homework, sorry. I have not seen Transformers 1, Verma. I'll try to watch it at some point. Venom 3 was really good, says Joey. Yeah, you've seen my review, and you've seen my thoughts on it. Alright then, so, time to move on to the next story. Here we go. Now... Tom Holland. We keep talking about Tom Holland, don't we? It's like, what? Is he going to start showing up in every single movie now? Well, that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is something about his Spider-Man 4 movie. So, apparently, the rumored title for the movie before was Spider-Man King in Black. Is what everyone thought the rumored name was before. Hence, this image. But now, there has been... if my computer brings up my frickin' notes, there we go. This information now, the information that I'm about to tell you now came from an apparent leaked production listing from Sony. And it seems like Spider-Man 4 is going to be called... it's going to be called Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now... you can see that he's got the symbiote there in that fan image, and the reason why is because Null from Venom 3 is apparently going to be the villain. That's the heavy rumor right now, that he's going to be the villain in the next movie. So yeah, and apparently they're going to want all the Spider-Mans, including Maguire and Garfield, to come back, and they're going to want them to all be in the movie as like a crossover type deal. And yeah, they're going to call it Brand New Day. I mean, I'll tell you this. I'm not a fan of the naming the names they've got going with the Spider-Man movies. I'm not a fan of Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home, and now Brand New Day. I've not really liked those titles, that sort of thing. See, Reggie says Venom's New Home. It just sounds very silly. King in Black is a badass title, says Jess. I think it's not great, but I think it's a better idea of a title than what they're going with. They just sound like Nickelodeon specials when they call them Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home, Brand New Day. It's like, are we watching a Nickelodeon movie or something? Like, give it something that has more weight to it. But the names they're giving it, I'm not too much a fan. I'm sorry, I was just laughing because the Dark Lord said, Spider-Man 4, Evicted from Home. That would be a funny name, that would be. But yeah, it's, Saeed has said something interesting. He goes, it has that Brave New World title vibe. It kind of does. Brand New Day, Brave New World. What is with these subtitles? I remember when subtitles were cool. Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. The movie sucked, but that title is fine. But that movie is Forever kind of messed that title up. But that's essentially what we usually are very happy with when it comes to titles, is when they had that big weight to it. But now they just don't. Yeah, GEG, you're right. Fantastic Four, First Steps is also poor. So it's like, what is going on with the names that they've got going on here? Even when Christopher Nolan did Batman Begins, it's such a simple word, begins, but it just has its own iconic vibe to it. And it doesn't sound Nickelodeon or anything. It sounds like a Nolan movie. That sounds like a word that he would use. And then you have The Dark Knight, so it used that. And then you have The Dark Knight Rises. I like these names, but I don't like the names that they have with these other, like these recent Marvel movies that they have. Jedge says it's better than Fan 4 Stick at least. Yeah, that was a completely different trend, that was. Where they were just taking the number, so if it was like a third movie or something, they'll force the number in there. So yeah, like I think Scream 4 did that as well. They tried to force the number in there. Saeed says Spider-Man time runs out, coming up with better titles compared to Disney. Spider-Man 4, Home Rent Due. Spider-Man Studios running out of ideas. Yeah, it's like there's plenty of ideas they could give it, something more interesting, but they just don't give it something interesting. It's just annoying. Of course, we don't know what the actual movie is, but I'd like to read a title that sounds dignified, and a lot of these just don't when they do that. Sony better not screw this up to Supersonic. Well, I feel like they kind of did screw up No Way Home, in my opinion. Joey Nichols, in my opinion, Brand New Day is a fine title as long as the word home isn't in the title. I'll be fine. Brand New Day, though, still just sounds so cheap. It sounds like a very cheap title. Like, not like a movie title. Okay, now you guys are bringing up these kind of like slightly grotesque titles. One More Day is a Spider-Man comic. Yeah, I'm sure it is, but there they make so many titles, so if they have some lazy ones, I'll understand. Movie-wise, how much titles has Spider-Man had? Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. They've got so much more titles they could be pulling from, so they have no excuse. Can't, so Spider-Man, can I just retire at this point? Yeah, maybe. He might in that Spider-Man 3 game that Insomniac are making. We don't know what they're going to do there. They might have him retire and then replace him with Miles as the main Spider-Man, which is what they said they're going to do, and then the other Spider-Men and women and stuff. So yeah, they're trying to do that now. Spider-Man Shattered Dimension, says Saeed. Spider-Man keep doing it until I'm 90, says Big Bash. Very true. Spider-Man kill the MCU, says Fireboy. Ooh, that would be interesting. Spider-Man, the last fight. It's like, there you go. There's a little bit more of a weighty title. The last fight. Spider-Man, screw the title. Spider-Man, the last dance. Spider-Man, pizza time. Yep, that would be the best title. Spider-Man, home wreck. Spider-Man. Sonic? Sonic wrote, Spider-Man kills Captain Eric. Impossible. Spider-Man phone home. Spider-Man 69, I'm on the Deadpool. Oh, I know what that means. Spider-Man, the Spider-Moji movie. Spider-Man, Sony, please leave me alone. Yeah, many titles that they could have gone with. Spider-Man once again. Spider-Man save the chat. Oh, that's why you put impossible. Sonic says, laugh my ass off. Sorry, but I did put impossible because it is impossible. Yeah, it is. He's a fictional character and I'm not. Well, no multiverse barrier will... no multiverse entering barrier will change that. So, yeah. Anyone else have any questions? No more name jokes, by the way. Anyone else have any questions about this, the title? What do you think overall? All jokes aside, do you like the title? Do you think it could be better? What do you think? Spider-Man, The Revenge of Raimi. Trevor, sounds good enough. Speaking of Trevor, Trevor actually shows up. Trevor actually shows up in... what was it? What did he show up in? Wonder Man, which is stupid. They keep bringing him back, that character, and I don't get it. The G Gamer says, sounds weird, could be better, maybe. I'll have to get used to it when it comes out, or maybe it actually sounds bad. Josh says, I hope that Null isn't the villain, because in the comics he's a multiversal threat and needs way more than one hero to take him down, so he better not get the Kang treatment. He'll probably get the Spider-Man treatment, where multiple Spider-Mans come in and have to fight him. That's what I'm guessing they're going to do. Let's see. Sony hire for the titlings for Spider-Man 4. Darklaw says, I just need to know one thing. Why should I give a frick? Some people are giving more names. Spider-Man Armageddon, Spider-Man The Revenge of Raimi. Yeah. GTA 5 Remastered Edition took out the transsexual jokes. Oh, did they? Oh, wow, I wasn't aware of that. Honestly, the title could have been done better or more witty or more... Let me do that again. Khan says this. Says, honestly, the title could have been done better or more witty or more to listen to or sounds cool, epic. Every time you say something like that. Brand New Day sounds like a weird Nickelodeon show. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. It sounds very Nickelodeon. I really wish they could do a better job, I think. I would be, I'd really want to see. I'd want to see that. Got to go. See you next week, says Deadwolf. Okay, thank you, buddy, for joining the stream. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next week. Alright then, that seems to be the end of things there. Now, we get to our Q&A session. So who has any questions that you want to ask me? And as always, like I said, if you donate through Streamlabs, we'll get that bar all the way across and I'll review Coraline for you. So, any questions that you have? Oh yeah, and also if you donate through Streamlabs, it'll pop up on the screen. On the top of the screen, it'll actually have your name on it and it will have your question displayed. And yeah, so if you want to have that happen, that's how you have it happen. Oh, where is the live stream? Oh, here. Do you drink coffee, Eric? No, I don't. Give me a second. Let me... I want to change that Streamlabs thing that I wrote down to something where you can actually see it. there, and now replace. There we go. I've just changed that. Ask questions via this link. How about Spider-Man No More? That was from Spider-Man 2, that was. What are your top 5 movies so far, says Verma. That's too... I don't know, I've got The Dark Knight, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and I don't really know what my third favourite movie is, you know. It's just hard to... I've always found that super hard beyond the first two. What's the next versus video in mind, Eric? It will be Joker 1 versus Joker 2. Hopefully that should come out late next week, is the plan. If all goes to plan, that will happen. After this video, though, you'll get a video released. It was a commission video from King of the Monsters 2021. You'll get that as soon as we end this stream. Sith Fruit goes, nice. Yep, it is. The Dark Lord to Spider-Man 4, in and out of the null and void. Peter gets depression from everything from the last film, and now to deal with Null's worst toy. The worst toy sounds very vague and also slightly dirty. Maybe that's just where my brain is going, but when I heard that, it seemed a bit off. Charlton says, I remember you saying something almost a year ago about making a Spider-Man Insomniac versus video. I wouldn't blame you if you gave up on it, knowing that it would take too much editing. It did. I might make... And I didn't complete the script. The script was like 80% complete, but it was a big script. I might make another video on it instead. We'll see. I'll have to see what I do. But yeah, I did want to talk about it, but we'll see what happens. Eric, do you think Spider-Man should have been played by someone else in the MCU? No, I think Tom Holland is fine. It's just they need good writing for him, and they're not really giving it to him. He keeps being played by... Tom Holland does a great job, and he can play a good character. Like, if you watch the movie that he was in, it was called The Devil All the Time, or something like that. It was on Netflix, and Robert Pattinson was in it as well. He's a very good actor in that movie, but the thing is, these Disney movies and Sony movies, they're making him play it too safe. So Tom Holland doesn't come across as an actor that has really got much range, when really he does. It's just that Marvel and Disney are not giving him that range. So that's the problem. Trevor says, is the first Joker still one of your favourite movies and still a 10 out of 10 for you? I still rank it very highly, yes, but I'm not going to tell you if my score for it has gone down or remained the same. You're going to have to wait for the Versus video to find out about that. Abdul says Spider-Man Black and Blue would be a good title if they use the symbiote to explore Peter's pain and struggles. Yeah, that would be an interesting title. Eric, have you played Marvel Spider-Man 2? If so, what are your thoughts on the game? Yes, I have played. I played it last year. I was even prepping a Versus video between the first game. I wasn't a fan of it. I thought that it was good. Like, I think I had fun with it. But compared to the first game, I thought it was a step down. Step up in some places, but huge step downs. I didn't like what they did with the gadgets. They reduced it from like the 8 you had or whatever to like 4. And they picked a very boring one from the previous game to bring in here. And I'm like, you're not using it well. Where's the web bomb? Where's the impact web? They're gone. It didn't feel like as big an upgrade as I wanted from the first Spider-Man game to the second. It's like when Batman Arkham Asylum came out, then you had Batman Arkham City, and Arkham City added more gadgets. It kept the same gadgets and gave you more. Spider-Man 2 gives you less gadgets, and it gets rid of most of them as well. So I thought it was a big letdown in that regard. I thought as well that it was just... I was so disappointed, guys, with that, because the gameplay was good, but it was too much the same, not enough development or advancement, and also the graphics were not as big an improvement. They were certainly an improvement, but not as big as, say, what Arkham City was to Arkham Asylum. That's what we wanted this to be. This was supposed to be Insomniac's Arkham City, but it just wasn't that. And I thought the storytelling was very weak with Venom in it. I thought Venom's storyline was incredibly weak, and the Black Suit storyline was incredibly weak, and it could have been a lot better, is what I thought. So yeah, Jess has done, oh thank you Jess, has done a $5 super chat. I appreciate that, thank you. Says, hey Eric, will you use movie or trailer footage of the Joker versus MCU Fantastic Four will be better than Fan 4 Stick, do you agree? King in Black should be titled. MCU Fantastic Four will be better than Fantastic. Yeah, I think that's not hard though. That'll be easy. Even the Roger Corman movie is better than Fantastic, so that tells you everything, I think, right there. And will I use movie or trailer footage for the Joker versus video? Well, that's why it took a bit longer. I thought, the movie's coming out on digital, so I'll rather wait for Joker 2 to come out on digital, and then put the movie footage in there. So it's going to get a movie footage. That's why the versus video took longer, and so yeah, I'm going to be doing that. Oh, Sarah's back. Hi, Sarah, how have you been? I thought you'd be gone for longer the way you said it, that you're going to have to leave. Ooh. The Connor Baird says, 3C Films type thumbnail. I have to go. Oh, let's take care, Fireboy. Bye. Thank you for joining the stream. Let's see. Mikhail, you're not the only one who didn't like Joker 2. A lot of people didn't. Ugh. Thanks again, Jess, for the donation. Like I said, this is my full-time job, so any donations always help, and that I really appreciate it, so thank you very much. Arkham gadgets are the best. Yeah, they were the best, the Arkham gadgets, but they just, they made them very disappointing, the gadgets, in Spider-Man 2. They just took a lot of them away. That was very disappointing, that was. Sarah says, Eric, what's the next video going to be? It's going to be the commission video that was done by King of the Monster 2021 when he commissioned the Godzilla review for one of the Japanese Godzilla movies he wanted me to review. I never saw the movie until he I was always aware of the movie, but I never saw it until he told me about it, and he wanted me to watch it and review it. So yeah, that's the next video. That video will be out when this live stream ends. I'll hit publish. I've got it all ready, and I'll put it out there for you guys all to see. Sarah says, was it good? You're going to have to wait to see the review. I did some jokes in that review, and I really did enjoy putting it together. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I put a lot of, like I said, I put a lot of work into these, so yeah. Colin says, that should be an interesting video. Yeah, it will be an interesting video. Put a lot of work in it, and I put a lot of work into the thumbnail, too. And the title. I'm always trying to see if I can find ways of getting my channel to reach a bigger audience. So, yeah, I tried something different this time. We'll see how it pans out. Classic Brickman says, opinion on Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, if seen. I thought you already asked me about that last time. Didn't you? Or was that someone else? I'm sure that was you. Yeah, I watched it. I like it. I think switching Young Sheldon from the format that it was at to the live audience format is a bit distracting. I think it's better when there is no laughs, because you don't need a laughter to tell the laugh track to tell you when to laugh at these characters, because you already know when they're funny or not. So I think they need to get rid of the laugh track. It doesn't fit these characters and the drama that they go through. But it was it was still fun to watch stuff. And that person that's jealous of Georgie in the workshop, I think that's a very funny character where the laugh track fits. But for everyone else, it doesn't fit. Oh, Sourcefear says, you've heard of The Substance, Eric. I've heard of it, but I've not seen it. I heard it's a really violent movie, and it just gets really weird at places, I've heard. So, yeah, I've not seen it. Oh, you got no answer, Classic Brickman. I did answer it last time. You asked it, I answered it. Unless you probably just missed it when I answered it. That's why I says I thought I've already answered this, because I felt like I have talked about it before. So, yeah. Lucky Brony says, hey Eric, quick question. Have you seen the Winnie the Pooh horror movies? I have. I've seen most of the first one, but I skipped through it, but I've not seen the beginning of it, which is the scene that was advertised in the trailer, so I should go see that beginning at some point. I'm getting a new monitor tomorrow, so maybe I'll watch it tomorrow. And then there's the second movie, which I did go through. I didn't watch it again, all of it, but it was cool, especially with Tigger in there. That was interesting to see. So, yeah. I'm going to go now, Eric. Have a good one, says Charleston. Okay, take care, buddy. Thank you for joining the stream. Sarah says, what Marvel crossover would you like to watch? Is there any two characters you really want to see? With their current roster? Not really. I'd say Daredevil and Spiderman, but I feel like Spider-Man needs to be built up more as a character before I want to see him with Daredevil, so I'd still wait on that one. But that's the one I would say. Oh, the Time Shadow, thank you very much for the £1 donation. Oh, and Good Times has given... Ooh, what currency is that? I'll have to look into that. Let me write that down. Is that euros? Yeah, I think that is euros. €1, thank you. I'll give that a heart right there. And thank you. The first super chat from Good Times. Oh, thank you very much, Good Times, for your first super chat. I really appreciate that. And I got, like I said, the £1 tip from the Time Shadow. Thank you very much, the Time Shadow, both of you at the same time. The Time Shadow, because you put the work in to do Streamlabs donation, I'll answer yours first. Hey Eric, something strange is happening. For some reason, the comments I leave in the chat seem to not be showing up. I checked it from the POV of my other accounts, and they're not showing up. Was I blocked or something? I don't know. Write another comment and let me have a look. I've got my phone here where the comments are. I'll see if you're getting blocked or anything. And Good Times has asked... Did Good Times even ask a question? Or did you just donate? Oh. Looks like you just donated. Oh, thank you very much, Good Times. I really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Oh, Itchy Joe says, what do you think of the Cobra Kai Season 5? Since you didn't finish your watch-along on Instagram. I'm sorry, that didn't work out. It turns out, I thought I'd be able to keep on top of it. Turns out I wasn't, because I had other videos to do, and then that, and then no. It's like all that stuff. It's a shame I didn't get to finish it. I really wish at least I got to finish that. And then I got a new computer, and I lost those files, and I was like, I have to redo it again. It just wasn't worth doing. I did like it by the end. I liked what we saw, and I liked how it ended too. Now we got the new season. They're split up into chunks. I've not seen it all the way through. I've not seen it at all, the new season. I'm waiting for the chunks to come out individually. Then I'll watch it at my own pace. But splitting it into 3 parts is so stupid. But yes, I did like Season 3. That final action sequence, I think it got violent, which I was surprised by. Ramouse says, will you go back to gaming reviews? Probably not, but that doesn't mean I won't talk about games. Like, if there's versus videos and things, I still could. But I have got a game show on my Patreon. Let me get rid of the Coraline poster right here. You can see on my Patreon right here, I've got a game show on Patreon. So if you want me to cover more game-related stuff, then head on over there. I did an unboxing of a classic console I got. Give me a second. Got a little intruder here. There we go. Intruder neutralized. Just a tiny, tiny fly. But yeah, I've not played... what was it? What was it? Yeah, I've unboxed a console on that I bought off of eBay, and it was the one that I thought I wanted to get, and I got it, and yeah, I did a video on that. So yeah, if you want to see more gaming content from me, go onto that perk, and I do intend to do more like Steam Deck videos and things. So yeah, go onto that, and then I'll cover it. I'll be covering more gaming stuff. So if my Patreon takes off on the $5 perk and stuff, I'll be, like I said, I'm doing more content there. I've got Let's Watches that I'm also doing. Good Time says, yes, it's euros. I enjoy your content and really wanted to show support, and I believe kindness goes both ways. And being on here is just great. Being able to talk about stuff about movies and games. Oh, thank you very much, Good Times. That warms my heart. That was such a nice comment. Thank you very much. Yeah, I love chatting with you guys all the time too. So yeah, that is great. That is great. I love that you guys are always coming on and always, engaging in questions. And thanks very much for the donation again. Like I say, I always appreciate it. But I've heard of it. I've not seen Ultraman. I'll give you guys a really weird, cheap movie to watch if you want it for fun. And it's called Psycho Goreman. It's actually surprisingly funny. It's a little bit like Billy and Mandy. Just a little, in terms of Billy and Mandy's relationship with the Grim Reaper. and how they control him. It's something like that mixed with Power Rangers in this, and it's bizarre. Sarah says, "We love you, Eric." Oh, Sarah, that also warms my heart. This is the most Big Bash says, "This is the most genuine chat I have ever seen." I know. I love all you guys. That's the one thing which I'm going to make sure. It doesn't matter how big I get. I'm going to remember every single one of you guys. It doesn't matter how big my channel gets. I'd be like, I still remember all of you. Sarah says, least favorite Marvel character. I don't know, there's too many. My least favorite? Right now, I'll just say Captain Marvel. Itchy Joe, I don't have a letterbox. Well, Sonic, what you do is you put your phone or your computer on pause, then you go, clean that up, come back, and hit play. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to put these back. I forgot for a second there. But yeah, like I said, that can go to the end. If it does, in the next couple days, I'll review Coraline. Like, literally the next couple days. If that hits 150, that goal, then I will review Coraline, literally in like the next couple of days. Movefan says, Eric, what is a moment in a movie where it was ridiculous and out of nowhere that you couldn't help but laugh? Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like there is an answer, but I need to remember. There's a scene that I'm just thinking right now. I don't know if this is like the ultimate scene, but there was a scene in Dodgeball where Ben Stiller's character, he goes, "It is over between us, Kate. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody." And then he snaps his fingers, and his big muscular guy shows up on a granny motorcycle, on a granny cycle, and then he goes on it. You think he's gonna drive away, but then out of nowhere he just goes like this, and then as they're driving away, he's going like that. That was out of nowhere, and it was hilarious. A lot of the stuff he did was out of nowhere. So yeah, that is one I can think of. Khan says, I always enjoyed your videos and the live streams you made, which I always look forward to every Sunday night at my place, especially how funny the chat can usually be. Yeah, the chat has got a very weird sense of humor here. Oh, Rohan, great to see you, buddy. Sithroot says, can I request a silent voice as a movie review? A silent voice? Let me look into that. What is that? Time Shadow, are you able to comment, by the way? You said that you're struggling to comment. I don't see no comments. Let me see. Is there anything here? Because you were commenting before. I've always been able to see your comments. Bizarre. What was that movie? Silent Voice, was it? Let's see. Silent Voice. Oh, it's an anime. Yeah, if you want me to review it, you can. But like I said, oh, Sarah, hang on. Sarah says, I sadly have to go, guys. I love these live streams so much. Everybody is so nice and amazing. No matter what, I always have something to look forward to on Sundays. Thanks for replying to my comment, Eric. No problem, Sarah. Thank you for coming back to the stream when you did. I really appreciate it. And also, Sarah, thank you for your previous Streamlabs donations and your super chats. I've always appreciated those as well. Like I said, you were like the new Jake around here. Although it just reminds me, how come I haven't seen Jake on the stream this stream? Hopefully we'll see him soon. But thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate it. And take care. Hopefully we'll see you next week. So, bye. But where was the comment from the person who wanted a request? Where is it? Where is it? There you go, Sithfruit. Can I request a silent voice as a movie review? You can, but in order to request it, you're gonna have. You can request it, but if you want me to actually do it, like at some point, because I have a lot of requests. I can't tell you how many requests I get. I have a list of requests. But if you like actually want to commission it and like definitely have me do it, then all you gotta do is go to Patreon and just commission it, and then I'll definitely do it. I'll get to work on it. I'll go see it because I've never seen that movie. I'll see it, I'll review it, just like I have done. Just like I have done with King of the Monsters 2021. He's got a commission video coming up after this live stream of a Godzilla movie he wanted me to review. And I'm going to review it for him, and I've already finished editing it. It's going to come out after this stream. So if you want, you can commission it like that on my Patreon, and I'll do the review for you. The Time Shadow says, Eric, I left a comment on another non-live stream video on the channel, and it's there all right, but it still won't let me leave a comment on this stream. That is bizarre. Hang on. Let me see if I can find your comment on my video that you commented on. Let me see. I'll have to look into it, but it's not something I can do right now during the stream. But yeah, that is curious, that is. Very curious. Let me quickly go into my YouTube studios, and let me just quickly see if I can find a recent comment you made. Oh. That's interesting. I'm trying to find some comments of yours I don't see. I'll have to look into that later, because I'm chatting to everyone right now. It's not something I can do right now, but I'll look into it. Because the comment that you said you did, I can't see it, which is bizarre. Which of your favourite topic that we talk about out of all your live streams? There's too many topics for me to pick my favourite one. I don't know. I remember there was one time where I was getting so many super chats from you guys that I couldn't even start the first story. I remember that. That was very funny, that was. And at one point, I couldn't even leave. Well, a few streams you were trying to keep me on so I don't leave, I remember. That was hard to do. Time Shadow, if you're watching, don't worry. I will, when the stream is over, look into what's going on. That's such a weird thing. That shouldn't be happening. But if you can comment on my most recent video, or maybe comment on the Godzilla review that's going to come up after this stream, and I'll see if your comment is there. If it's there, I can click on your channel and then see what is going on, if YouTube has blocked you or something. Captain America trilogy is my favourite of the MCU. Yeah, it is. It's the best trilogy out of the MCU movies. Jess says, Eric, what other video games do you have behind your wardrobe? There's a lot of them. I've got Batman Arkham Knight. I've got the Batman Return to Arkham collection. I've got Uncharted 1, 2, 3, and the fourth game. I've got Detroit Becoming Human, which I never played. I've got LA Noire, which I did play a bit. Didn't like it. What else? I've got Spiderman on there for the PS4. I've reviewed some of my PS4 games, I think, as well, on my 3-minute reviews show in the past. So yeah, I've got a lot of those games there. Eric, remember when you said that Sonic 3 should get a PG rating? Well, Transformers 1 did that, and it is a recent example. Well, did it push the PG rating, though? That's what I want to know. Did Transformers 1 push the PG rating? Verma, I've never... Neoma Verma. I've never watched Bluey, but I'm aware of it. I've heard of it. It's got good viewership on like Disney Plus and stuff. So yeah, it was incredible. Verma. It did, says Movie says it did push the PG rating. The G Gamer goes, at times it did. Sonic says there was a joke in Transformers 1 that I loved and you would too. Oh, cool. Itchy Joe says, how much do commissions cost and what Patreon tier do I have to pay in order to get it to happen? Just click on Patreon, you'll see all my tiers there. So get whichever one, relates to you. But yeah, I've had quite a few people commission videos, and I'm working on them. Puss in Boots 1 vs 2 is the next commission video that I'm going to do, and then I'm also going to do another commission, which was someone asked me to do, G-Gamer it was in fact, who asked me to do Megamind 2, a review for that. So I will be doing that. And then I've also got another commission as well to do another Godzilla movie for King of the Monsters 2021, which I'll be doing next year, early next year, in the first few months. So yeah, the commission videos, they are a thing where I will make the video that you asked me to make. Tyler Edwards, I love Uncharted, but I didn't bother watching that Sony movie where they hired Tom Holland to play Nathan Drake. Such a miscast. Movie fan 2002, don't worry. It's nice at the end of the day. There's movies that you wish you don't get to see, but the fact that you guys are helping me make a living doing what I love, which is reviewing movies for you guys and engaging in these conversations, it's nice. So that's why I say any of these donations I've appreciated, any of these commissions I've appreciated. It makes for a job which I really do enjoy, and I really hope I can do, consistently, because I'm trying to do it full time. I am doing it full time, and I'm hoping it continues to work out. But yeah, Itchy Joe, if you want to do it, you can go ahead do it there. And if you want a little bit of a discount in in terms of online fees, just I'll give you my Streamlabs link, and we can talk about it on Patreon. So yeah, whatever you want me to review, it's literally all your options are there. Elite says, what do you think about this episode of Teen Titans 2003 called Calling All Titans? That sounds familiar. That was also an online game at the time when we used to play these games online. Calling All Titans episode, Season 5, Episode 11. Oh yeah, that episode where all the Teen Titans Unlimited show up. Or is this when they all get captured? Oh wow, I just saw a game here that I remember from my childhood. Look at this, I'll show you. Let me go to the stream, and then I'll import it in. This is a game that I remember. I'll show you guys. Hold on. Oh, bugger. Yeah, I'll import it. There we go. Who remembers this game online on the Cartoon Network website? What has it done? Why did it do that? Here we go. What do you think? Who remembers this game online? Abdul, they sometimes do get copyright claimed, but the thing is, it's all fair use. It's all for reviewing, so it shouldn't get copyright claimed at all. Where was it? Yeah, Good Times, it is very hard to make a YouTube channel a career. It's not quite working yet. I still need to do more to make it get to that level. So even for me, it's still a journey. I still have to try to, do better and make it work. It hasn't properly worked yet. So yeah, I still need to work my way up to that level, basically. Itchy Joe says, Eric, thanks. Also, do you think it would be a good idea to make a dramatic Woody movie like how they did for Lightyear? No, I said that they shouldn't. And it's like it's also a dumb idea for them to take Buzz, a character that we know, and then to say, yeah, we're having a completely different voice actor voice him, because they would never have done that with Woody. They wouldn't have hired someone else other than Tom Hanks to play him. So it was stupid when they did that, and look at what it resulted in. But yeah, who remembers this game? Verma, yes, I have seen the 2004 Batman show. I used to love that as a kid. Sith Fruit says, how much is it to get a review? Well, there's different reviews options there. There's the Versus videos, there's a quick movie reviews, there's quick TV show reviews, which is for patrons only. And there's like a 3-way Versus video option. But for a quick movie review, it's $200. That's what King of the Monsters 2021 did. He did that twice, and he's going to get 2 quick movie reviews. The G-Gamer did it once. He's going to get the Megamind review. And yeah. So, yeah, good times. YouTube career is always a journey. I always dreamed of having a YouTube channel, and where I'm at now, I think we are doing good. Yeah, let's... Hopefully we'll both grow. We hope we'll both grow together. That will be fun. Jess says, Eric, in your Ant-Man 3 video, you said we need the Russo brothers back, which you predicted, and now they're actually back to direct Avengers 5 and 6. Yeah. I said we need them back, and if Marvel had any common sense, they would have brought them back a long time ago, but they just didn't for some reason. So yeah. Alright guys, I'm going to leave in about 2 minutes, so if you want to keep... if you want to get your question answered, then now's the time to do it. And if you want to get it answered as soon as possible, like I said, as I say, Super Chat or Streamlabs Chat. And if you do a Streamlabs Chat, I'll see it on my screen right now, and I'll be able to answer it immediately for Streamlabs or Super Chat. So do any of the two, and I'll answer your questions immediately. The Dark Lord says, what's your favourite bending style from the last Airbender world? And that style sub-bending style like blood, lightning, or metal. Oh, sub-bending. I always liked earthbending. Earthbending looked like there was a lot of uses for that. Elite has done $5 donation. Thank you so much, buddy. He says, what do you think when all the Titans are going jumped all at the same time? What do you mean? I need more information. I don't know exactly how to answer that. No. Verma, the 2004 Batman was actually meant to be canon to the Teen Titans show. How? Because it had their own Robin in there. Oh, what do you think when all the Titans are going jumped all at the same time? Well, there was a lot of scenes when all the Titans had... are you talking about the very, very end, Elite, when they says, Titans, go, and they are about to all jump that big bad guy? Is that what you're talking about? Or you talk about the bit when they all fight the bad guys, like a big war battle? That was epic, that was. I mean, that was so freaking good. So many sidekicks, but you loved them all. Oh, the very, very end. Yeah, the very, very end, that was really cool, where they said that villain's going to really be scared now, and it panned up, and they were all there. And it was like, Titans, go! That was hilarious. Like, I remember loving that. It's so sad they went for Teen Titans Go and not, that Teen Titans, bringing the original one back. Thank you very much, by the way, Elite, for the $5 Super Chat. And Josh is Not Funny has tipped £1.66. Thank you very much, Josh. I appreciate that. I always say your Super Chats and Streamlabs Chats help, and really, this does. What would you rate Get Out and Sonic 2 out of 10? I know it's a random pairing, but just curious about both. Well, Sonic 2, I can't remember. I need to see it again. I don't want to give a score because it might... I don't think it's right, whatever score I give it right now, because I'm judging it based on scenes that I remember, not the whole movie. So I need to see that again, because I will be doing Sonic 2 versus Sonic 3 when it comes out. That's the idea. So I can't say right now. So sorry about that, but you will get your answer, don't worry. And what would you rate Get Out? Get Out, I gave it a 7, I think. A very good 7. But I've heard on the second viewing you'll notice more things that were being set up and we never realised. So who knows, maybe I'll watch it. I want to watch it again at some point, see if I notice any of those things on second viewing. And then we'll see. Maybe my score will get better then. Khan says, Eric, don't jinx it. Itchy Joe says, I'm probably going to pay for your $1 Patreon. How do I contact you for a commission? Well, when you're a patron, all you got to do is just go... You can contact me on Patreon. And you can tell me, you know, I want this. And then we can chat about it. A lot of my patrons, we have chatted through Patreon in order to, like, talk about what the video is that we want to have each other make. So that's what I would recommend you do. That's how we do it. So yeah, basically become a patron. You can become a free patron, or you can become the $1 patron. If you do $1 patron, you'll get your name in the credits of my next Versus video. And if you stay at $1 patron, you'll also get trailer reactions. You'll get, like I said, your name in the credits. And yeah, you'll also get to ask me questions directly, and we can chat about what you want commissioned, what review you want, and all that kind of stuff. So I'd recommend, yes, go ahead and do it. We can chat privately. Dark Lord says, who's ready to super chat the captain so he can't leave? The Dark Lord really is picking up for the Time Shadow here, isn't he? Aren't you? But yeah, Itchy Joe says, I'm probably going to pay for your $1 Patreon. How do I contact you for commission? Oh, I've already read that. But yeah, you know. So, did you get the message, Itchy Joe? Did you hear me say... That sounds so... what's the word? That sounds so patronizing. Did you get the message? I meant, did you hear... Did you ask the question, did you hear what I said clearly and everything? Or do you have any more questions, is what I mean? Did you get the message? The Time Shadow has done a £5 super chat. Thank you very much, buddy. And he goes, Time Shadow, second account here. My other comment disappeared, so shall I just email you a link to my channel so that you can access it that way? Yes, that would be very helpful. Thank you. Because otherwise I was going to have to start rummaging around and looking for your comments. So yeah, please do. Oh, where are we? Okay, so Itchy Joe, did you get my, did you hear my response? Jess says, Eric, you were supposed to laugh at the gone fat joke in Black Widow. Yeah, I didn't really find it funny. What shall we call your second account, Time Shadow? Says Khan. It does still say Time Shadow there, so we can just call it that. Sith Fruit says, I really hope the Ghost of Tsushima movie is good. I would highly recommend that game, by the way. Yeah, I got the game. That's one of the games I got up there, but I haven't got the time to play it. It's too... I thought it would be a more straightforward single-player campaign, but instead it's deeper than that, and I don't have time to play on my monitor, stay on my monitor for that long, so I would rather prefer to have a Steam Deck that I can put on sleep mode and play the game. So yeah, I'll have to get on Steam Deck when the price goes down, because I already paid for it once. I don't want to have to pay for it again, you know, so I'll wait for it to go very low in price. I have a crush on the Dark Lord. Hey, Captain Eric, I'm Sonic, but this is a backup account, just in case. So yeah, also don't ask about the name. Alright then, no problem. Where is, Itchy Joe, did you get my, my response to your question? Is Joe still in the chat? Or watching the stream? GEG says, Eric, have you played Arkham Shadow? It's actually pretty good. The horror elements in VR are actually scary. I've not, because I don't have a VR headset. But I've heard people say stuff about it. It's kind of cool. I didn't know there's horror elements. That's fun. But yeah, I haven't played it, no. The great Onez? Sorry, bud. Says, hey, Eric, really enjoy your content. Oh, thank you very much. Put a lot of work into the content, so I'm glad you enjoy it. Elite, yeah, when all the Titans are fighting each other, I was, like, oh boy. The G-Gamer says... Itchy Joe, for the Versus videos, a big fear he had is if someone commissioned Madam Web versus Morbius versus Venom 2. Yeah, that was a big fear. Those are 3 movies I can't stand. Big Bash, I watched the War World episodes of the Justice League cartoon. They were great. Yeah, was that when Wonder Woman met Steve there as well? Yeah, that was a very good 2-parter. GEG says, oh, it's not worth getting VR for. Yeah, totally it isn't. Alright then, I think that's about it, guys. I think I'm gonna leave for the night now, and there's still a surprising number of you here. Usually, at this point, most of you are gone, but you guys still seem to be having fun. That, you're still on the stream watching, so it means a whole lot to me. It really does that you guys keep watching, so thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. Like I said, Sonic says check the chat. Why? Am I missing something? No one's got no super chats or Streamlabs chat, so no, it's okay. I'm all caught up. Alright, thank you everyone. As always, I really do love spending these weeks with you, and I always look forward to it every single week. I'll definitely catch you guys very soon. In the meantime, I'm going to go off. I don't know what I'm going to do right now. Elite has done a $1 super chat. Oh, Elite, that's so kind of you. Thank you very much. Let's write that down. Oops, Daisy. Write that down right here. There you go. $1 donation. Yeah, so thank you very much, everyone. I really, really appreciate it. I always appreciate the support. Love that I have the best following on YouTube. Oh boy, where is that Titans picture? I don't even know. Oh, there it is. Oh, there we go. Gone. So yeah, I really appreciate it, guys. Love all of you. Can't wait to do another chat with you next week. Thank you very much for the donations. I always say, you guys, you have no idea how much it helps. And like I said, if you keep donating, even through Streamlabs, that is, even throughout the next week, by next live stream, if that bar goes all the way to the end, like I said, I will review Coraline. So there's no deadline. You can keep donating and that bar will go until I remove Coraline, which next week I will be removing Coraline from this. So got one more week if you want me to review this movie, and I'll review it a couple days after the commission, after the goal is done, basically. And yeah, for Sith Fruit and for Itchy Joe, like you were asking questions about commissioning. Yeah, if you want to commission, all you gotta do is go to my Patreon, contact me there, and we'll talk about what you want me to review, and I'll review it. So thanks very much, everyone. Love all of you. Love spending time with you, and I'll see you on the next stream. Thanks very much, as always, for watching. Be sure to watch my Godzilla video, which I'm going to hit the upload button on right now, and let me know what you think. Give the video a thumbs up, comment it, share it, because that always helps. And thanks very much. I will see all of you in a couple minutes when that video goes up. Thanks, everyone. Take care.